And we're on
Hey
air.
everybody! Hi all you homegrown people. Welcome to the monthly September call. We have Brittany as our guest speaker today, as she's kind of the most recent homegrown person to really hit it big with this business. So Callie and I will be talking about a little bit of the stuff that we learned at Summit, some more of the stuff, but our topic today is going to be shifting your mindset from hobby to career. So when we went to this little session at Summit, it was one of my favorites because the speakers of this topic are so passionate and so they just really connect with the people that they're speaking to. So the speakers that we listened to were Tracy Morrow and Summer Tucker, and if you don't follow them on Facebook, I'd really recommend it. Especially Summer Tucker is just like a super fireball, just so passionate about this business, and you can't help but be sucked into her excitement. So I'm going to let Callie get off started talking about what we learned at the session, and then I'll go into a little bit of a somewhat related topic that Shalene talked about at the general session. And then Brittany will give us a little bit of a background on how she's built her business, especially in the last year, and changed it a little bit more from a hobby to a career, so earning a little bit more income doing this business. So we'll start out with Callie giving us a little bit of the background on what we learned in our session. So go ahead, Callie.
All right, thanks, Kari. Hey guys, I'm just going to go over some of the bullet points of this awesome session we listened in on. It is going to be kind of a little bit of information, and I'm going to try to keep the time down for you guys. So I'll try not to talk too fast, but there is going to be information. If you're having a hard time catching up with your notes, I will try to type up some of the main points and put it in the files section, so don't feel overwhelmed. But they talked about shifting the mindset from hobby to career. We're all kind of at different places in this business, and that's what I love about it. If you want to just do it as a hobby, do a little bit here or there, you can. If you want to work it more as a business to hopefully potentially turn it into more of a full-time income, you can. And that's the beauty of this. And I think no matter whether you're a hobby or you're wanting to turn it into a career, a lot of this information will connect with all of you. So they talked about when you have a mindset shift, you need to have an attitude change and a behavior change. And so how they kind of broke it down in their talk was they talked about an attitude shift, and then the actions you can take to help with that attitude shift to create change. So that's how I'm kind of going to break it down too. I'll talk about an attitude and then the action steps you can take. So the first one is prioritizing your time. Time is a huge thing for every one of us. I think we all struggle with time and how to balance it all, especially some of us are moms, some of us are busy, working full-time or working 3 jobs. Okay, we're all very different, but I think where we can all connect is that we're all short on time. And so one of the big mind frame shifts is to really learn how to prioritize your time if this business is something that you want to keep moving forward. And so the attitude is do my no matter what's. So in quotations, the no matter what's. And the action is for you to identify your 5. So your 5 no matter what's. So some examples, and this is one I'll try to type up, but some examples of no matter what's. What are these things? The vital behaviors, okay, if you don't know the vital behaviors, those are very important. It's something you learn in your Coach Basics right off the bat, or you will learn if you haven't already, is invite and connect with people, be a product of the product, and personal development. So those are 3 big no matter what's. Okay, some other ones can be 2 to 3 quality posts on social media, run challenge groups, know your story and tell your story to others, one-on-ones and team calls. Okay, you're all watching a team call. We're going to have our team party on Wednesday. There's a no matter what. Hit Success Club. Okay, set and review your calendar. So do you have a calendar every month that you try to get organized with when you're going to do what? Or do you just kind of do something whenever you feel like it? There's nothing wrong with that either. We're all at different levels. And then another one is track your business, review your goals. So these are all important things, all important no matter what. And so I actually have a little bit of homework for all of us. I want all of us to come up with our own 5 no matter whats. So Tracy gave an example of some of hers, and that was personal development. But what she did is her personal development is combining her workout, her Shakeology, and her personal development reading every day. So that matter what, but it's encompassing 3 different things. So your mind and your body, personal development. And then follow-ups is one of hers. So she takes notes. She has a system to make it happen. So you're following up with people that you're reaching out to. Plan is another one of her no matter whats. And she actually talked about how Tony Horton, he keeps Post-it notes and like scratch pads all over in rooms throughout his entire house. And then, you know, I think we all do this. I know I do this. I'll like be in the basement putting laundry in the dryer or something random, and I'll have like this plot. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be cool. But then it leaves my mind pretty fast, and then I have no idea what that idea ever was. So Tony Horton keeps Post-it notes in random places throughout his house to write down these ideas or thoughts, and then he collects them all, staples them, and labels it with the day. So he'll collect them maybe like at the end of the night, every night or the next morning, staples them all together, and then, you know, there's your ideas so you don't forget them. And then another one of her no matter what says invite. So she said, your fear can't keep you from helping somebody else. So make sure you're reaching out to people, you're inviting them. That's how you're going to build these relationships. So prioritizing our time. The next one is, and we've talked about this a lot, but just care more about people than your product. Okay, that's bottom line. I think what Beachbody is all about is we are in this to help people. Okay, we have personally been helped by a coach, maybe our upline, we've been reached out to by somebody, or maybe if you weren't, you found a Beachbody program somewhere and you got hooked. Your life has been changed by this. So we just want to pay it forward. And so if you care more about people than your product, that's a great place to start. And so the next thing that I'm going to go over is duplication multiplies. I'm going to pull up my notes up here. So the attitude is if it can be taught, then it can be duplicated. All right? So some action steps to take to think about this attitude of it, if it can be taught, then it can be duplicated, is to plug into your existing tools. So we have a ton of tools within our reach. Okay, the online office is huge. Our training groups, our homegrown page, the team movement page, the coaching network. Okay, the file section. There's all sorts of tools, but there's inviting scripts. One thing that I know I do, and I shared in my Root Strength page, I'll try to share it with all you guys too, is a welcoming new customer leads and just different scripts. Okay, I used to spend way too much time trying to type out the perfect messages to make them, but I was spending so much time trying to creatively rethink how to type something that it just got exhausting and draining. And so once I actually sat down and I saved template scripts in my Google Docs, and then you can go in and personalize them a little bit to whoever you're talking to, but that was a huge thing that has helped me. So invite scripts, welcome scripts, there's the challenge group guides in your online office, there's the getting started training. So plug into your existing tools to help you. These duplication things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel with Beachbody. I think when I first signed up, I was like, I wanted to think of all these new creative ideas, but what is there truly works, and you have to believe in that process, okay? You can still add you to it, but what is there works. So use the tools that are there. The next attitude is think and act like you're the CEO. Okay, we are our own business owners as coaches. Okay, we are the CEOs of our own business. So the attitude that you have to have is think and act like you are a CEO. Okay, sometimes I know for me, I get stuck in, this is my business. Like it is a job. I can earn money doing this. But I think because, you only paid $40 to sign up, like it just gets so easy to think of, oh, it's just this thing I do. But if you really want to move it forward, think of it as a business, that you are treating it like one. So action steps to go with it. Commit to personal growth and development. Get to a Super Saturday. So I have to admit, my first Super Saturday that I went to, I think I had been a coach for at least over a year, and I had never made it to a Super Saturday because of scheduling stuff, but also I don't think I made it a priority. And they are awesome. They're so much fun to get to connect with your fellow teammates, to learn, news about the company, and have a kick-butt workout at most of them. So Super Saturdays are huge. Get on the national wake-up call and your team calls. Okay, so join us on our team parties Wednesday night. The national wake-up call is something that you can do if you can't plug in at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. They have a podcast now. They do a replay phone. I mean, they make it so easy for you to listen into that whenever you can. And those are a great way to kick off your week. I usually don't get to listen to mine until Tuesday mornings. I listen to the podcast while I'm doing dishes. Piece of cake. I always leave feeling inspired, coming up with new ideas. And own your role as a sponsor. So once you guys, if you haven't started signing coaches underneath you, that's fine. Once you do start signing coaches, own your role as your leader, or as their leader, that you are a sponsor. You're a leader of these people. Whether you only have one coach below you, you are still a leader, and you are, now it's not just you as a coach. You are starting to help each other grow as a team, and it's pretty cool. So the next one, pull it up, is the next attitude is create opportunities to connect. So be intentional with your business. Believe you have something of value you can offer. Okay? We all have something of value that we can offer to somebody. And sometimes it might be hard to think of, like, well, what do I have to offer? What makes me different? You do. We all have something of value to offer, and if you have a hard time thinking of something that you have to offer, hey, think about what we do with Beachbody and all the amazing things they have to offer and how it changed your life. Your story and how it changed your life is what you can help offer to others. So actions. Lead conversations with belief. And this is a hard one. This is the comfort zone one. When you're actually out there and people are asking you questions, like leading a conversation with full-on conviction and belief. Okay, that's an action step, and that might take practice. That will take time. I still am not perfect at that by any means. Next one is run business opportunity webinars or calls, do a coaching open house or sneak peeks. I know that once I started doing sneak peeks, I think I had 2 coaches underneath me. One of them was Chad, and I was like, how can I do a sneak peek? Like, I'm not this huge successful coach. Who would want to join my coaching sneak peek when I'm not, this huge success? But once I actually started doing it on a regular basis, I know Britney and I actually joined forces. I've done some on my own. I've done some with Tanya, one of our other uplines. It has changed my business hugely as far as growing my team. So be brave, and that is a step that if you want to grow in this business, you need to start doing things like that. There's all sorts of groups you can join. Stay in recruiting mode. Share your calendar and planning tool, so share with others, and teach what you do. So I never thought I would ever be doing videos like this either, and yet here I am, pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and it's been turned into something I've loved doing, is teaching something that has helped for me. I might as well share it with others. So the last thing is, and I think Kari mentioned this actually in her post to our group, is don't just love the prize, love the process. And that really stuck with me, because the process as coaches can sometimes be hard. Like, there are hard moments where you hear no all the time, but the process is pretty cool if you stick with it, and the results you get from hearing back from people. It's those little messages that you might not get all the time, but that make it all worth it. And you will get those messages. You will get those reaching out from people. That wasn't my last thing. I'll just speed up because I'm going a little over my time. The last one is, let me see, I think I have a picture. Yes, exceed expectations. So it's not about the title, it's about your level of service. So actions: deliver on promises, start on time, do for one what you do for a tribe, and have a strong work ethic. So part of that is figuring out your vision. Like, what is your big picture? When you look at coaching, when you look at your business and what you want it to be, what is your big picture? What's your vision? What do you see for yourself? And I think this is something that you constantly have to try to be reconnecting with, because it's easy to lose your vision when you have those down times. So that's actually, so I have a little bit of homework. I want us all to try to check in with the group with our 5 no matter what's. What are our no matter what's going to be? And then I think, and maybe Kari too, I mean, maybe we can all chat about it a little bit, but figuring out our vision, like our vision as a team. So Kari, I'm sure you have goals and expectations, what you envision for Team Homegrown moving into this next year. So as a team, what is your vision, but also individual vision? And I thought about doing vision boards. I need to do a new vision board, so that might be something maybe we can do a whole nother call on those, I don't know, Kari, on vision boards and creating something like that to help have that visual thing that you're always looking at. Oh, yeah, that's what my goals are. This is what I want out of this business. This is why I'm working, being consistent every single day on these things. So, and the last quote I'll end with is, discipline trumps talent. So I really think that this is where, with Beachbody, is where people really grow, is the discipline. And I know there are days where I really struggle with this, and I haven't gotten all my no matter what's done day to day. And you see that. So I think if this is something you're really wanting to turn into a big business, to really grow, to build your team, is just to be disciplined and consistent. I think we hear consistency a lot, and it's because it's true. Like, you might get sick of hearing consistent, but that is what's going to take you and keep moving you forward. And Brittany's going to talk a little bit about that with her story too. So that's all I've got. Sorry, Kari, I went a little over my time, but we're still doing pretty good. So I'll switch back to you.
Thanks, Callie. That was some really good info, you guys. And if you have to even go back and re-listen to it, and I'm sure she's going to post a little bit more of the bulleted points, but a lot of really great info. So I got assigned the ginormous task of summing up Chalene Johnson, and for those of you who know me know that I have a pretty serious girl crush on Chalene, and I think that everything she says is like gold, and anything she says, and the way that she says it too. So I personally don't think that I can do a very good job of summing up her speech, because seriously hilarious. So what I did today is I went online in the back office, and I found Shalene's speech that she gave at Summit, the exact way that she gave it, and I listened to it again because you guys have got to listen to it. If you haven't listened to it, go into the back office. I found it in the Diamond training, but I think it's in other places too. But the title of her speech was From Mine to Ours, the love and support your business needs. So the reason we threw that into this, excuse me, the reason we threw that into this talk is because if you're going to really start growing your business, it's going to require more time. It's going to require a little more dedication on your part, and the likelihood that you're going to run into some hurdles as far as members of your family or your spouse or your loved ones wondering what this is all about and why this business deserves your time, you're also going to have to work on making your relationships a little bit more healthy. And so basically her speech was about, building a better relationship with your husband is pretty much what she was speaking about. But she was saying that in order to take care of yourself, because really this journey has all started out for most of us as a way to better take care of ourselves. First of all, through physical workouts and eating healthier, but then secondly, through earning a little bit more money. And in order for you to take better care of yourself, you're also going to have to take better care of your spouse or your significant other to make him or her happier. And you can't allow your life, because through all the stuff we're doing with this business, through becoming more organized in our business, through working set hours, we can't let that part of life get in the way of our relationships with our spouses. We're not going to be living, ultimately, a happier, healthier life if we also don't have good, strong relationships to back us up and to keep us pushing forward. And life, frankly, can get in the way if you let it. So you have to take intention with your spouse and on an everyday basis, work on making that relationship stronger. What Shalene really talked about, which is so true, is a lot of times when people go on a physical transformational journey, the people that are closest to them are the ones that have the most hesitation, the ones that pretty much that don't really support you as much as maybe a complete stranger on the street. And why is this? And basically it's because they're scared. You're changing, you're making yourself better, and they're afraid that down the line you are going to be a better person and you're not going to want them with you. So what did she say? She said people feel fear and feel less significant when there's a change in life, and the change that's going on is the change that you are making in your body, in your health, and in this business, and work in this business. They don't want to be inadequate, so it's your job to make them feel adequate on a daily basis. Okay, where am I going here? Because step one, what she said, is to step into their shoes. Fear makes some people aggressive. Fear makes some people protective. They want you to stay the same. You love them now the way you are. You love them now before you've taken this big jump with your business, and you need to step into their shoes and see what it would feel like if you were the person that was watching this change go on in your spouse. The second is to make changes that you want to see. So she said that the most successful couples, the most happy couples, the people that feel like their relationships are the strongest, commit 5 hours or more to communication per week. So here's another time management issue, but make sure that you are making time to communicate with your spouse. You're not just, I know that it would be easy, at least for me sometimes when I'm trying to organize how my business is laid out, I think it would be really easy if I just worked my business after my kids go to bed. So say I work my business from 8 at night when my kids go to bed till 10 o'clock. Where does that leave my relationship time with my husband? So it's another planning thing. Try to figure out a way that you can still dedicate at least 5 hours or more of communication per week to your husband. The second thing is to listen, to really listen. If your spouse is getting upset with you, or why do you have to spend so much time on Facebook, or make sure that you're listening to them and not just getting defensive, that you're listening to what they're saying and you realize that maybe there is something that you're doing that's making them feel insignificant. The next thing is the 5-to-1 ratio, which I think is really good. And a good reminder for me, she's saying a 5-to-1 ratio, positive statements to negative statements. It is so easy, at least for me as a mother, to lead off with 5 negative statements and then follow it up with 1 positive, like the trash can is full. Is anyone gonna throw their dirty clothes in the laundry? Why do I always have to do the dishes? And then say something like, how was your day today? Did you have a great day today? You know, like something positive, showing that you care about your spouse. It's really easy to lead with negatives, and we have to train ourselves to lead with positives. A 5-to-1 ratio would be ideal. Not everyone's as perfect as Shalene. I could probably manage 3-to-1. 3-to-1, shoot for 3-to-1, and then grow to 5-to-1. The next thing is to study your partner. Know what things they really like, things that are really passionate, they're really passionate about, and learn to talk to them about those things that they're interested in. I know that my husband gets really sick of me talking about Shalene all the time. He doesn't really care, but there's a lot of things that she says, this speech in particular, I'll get to that part later, but that I think that he really would connect with. So share things about the things you're passionate with that might connect with something that they are also passionate about. And lastly, express your gratitude. This is a really easy thing to forget in this business. I had the problem the first 2 times I went to Summit of just thinking that I deserved the trip and that I would learn a lot and it could really help my business, but I was forgetting in there to express my gratitude to my husband for making it possible. He had to stay home with the kids. He had to take care of all the things around the house while I was gone at Summit. So make sure you express your gratitude for the extra things your spouse might be doing to help you increase your productivity in this business. To minimize fears, hold on a minute. Yeah, Kelly, I'll keep talking, but if we lose too much of it, I can go back. Kelly says I'm cutting out, so hopefully you're getting some of this. Okay, the next thing is to minimize fears in your spouse. How do you do this? Brittany, am I still good? Give me a thumbs up. I lost Callie, so you can see me. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Callie's out for a second. Hopefully she'll come back.
Can you hear me, Kari?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, it just switched to audio, so it's working good. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So minimizing fears in our spouse. Use common sense. What are some things that they're probably scared about? Be able to talk with them about those things. Remember the golden rule. Make sure that if you want your spouse to support you in this business, make sure that you're supporting them in other aspects. As far as building a strong relationship with your spouse, Shalene mentioned minimizing temptation. This doesn't really have to do with the concept of this business, but things like making it so that your spouse isn't worried about you slipping into temptation, because we are all human. No one can read your mind. Speak up. If you are feeling frustrated about something, vent that in a positive way to your spouse and chat it out with them. Everyone wants to be needed. I think this is really important, at least being the female in the relationship, which is also another point that she made, but embracing your traditional roles. A lot of men want to be the caretaker. They want to take care of you. And when they see you earning a lot of money in this business, it sometimes takes something away from them. So make sure that you talk about that and show them where they are needed in your life, even if you are earning a fairly good income. And so this was Shalene's big point of the whole presentation, was to have more sex. So if you guys haven't watched the speech, you have to, because it was hilarious how she brought it up. But totally blunt and totally Shalene. So let me see. So in order to restore significance, to make your partner feel significant, speak highly of them in all situations, even if they're not there. Don't be the wife who's always like, oh, my husband is so lazy, he never picks up his clothes. Like, it's okay to a certain extent, but be your partner's biggest fan. Recruit them as your MVP. If you're struggling with something in your business, ask your husband. A lot of times we marry people that have different personalities from ourselves, different strengths, and maybe there's something you don't know. Maybe there's something that they can help you with. So if you voice your struggles, maybe they can help you. I like this point also because I think it's really easy to get naggy, but voice your needs versus your demands or nagging on your husband. So if you voice it in a nicer way, like, honey, I would really love it if you could blah, 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 instead of somebody needs to take out the trash. That constant nagging, it really wears on a person. Invest time once again, in your relationships. And then finally, behave in accordance with your priorities. If you haven't done Shalene's 30-day push, I highly recommend it. It's all based on learning how to set goals, but set goals that are also in line with your priorities. If your husband is your priority, you're not going to set goals that are going to conflict with your relationship. You're going to build a really strong marriage and partnership with your spouse. You're better together. You guys can be a team. Even if you're the one that's mainly running your business, you can find ways to make it a team effort. One more thing that she said was behavior is contagious. So if you're hanging out with people who don't have good marriages, who talk poorly about their spouse, who, well, for anything in our lives, whether they're fit people or people that live the same lifestyle as us, that behavior is contagious. If you're hanging around with people that are constantly ripping apart their spouse, you might start doing the same. So don't fall into those contagious behaviors if they're bad ones. Hang out with people that build their husband up, people that talk highly about their spouse and talk about all the great things that they do for the household. And lastly, be a hero, which I think is really great. Sometimes it's really easy to get sucked into a you're wrong, I'm right type mentality, but every once in a while a dispute between a husband and wife can easily be solved by one person just sucking it up, being the hero and saying, you know what, honey, I'm really sorry, I overreacted. Even if you think maybe there's something about their opinion that's wrong, be the hero. Step up. Don't make little things big arguments. And you'll have a stronger, more healthy relationship if you can do that every once in a while. And again, behavior is contagious, so maybe your husband will do the same the next time and you'll be caught off guard. Overall, you'll have a better business if you can build a stronger relationship with your partner, because really, you can't do this alone. This isn't just you, even though it might seem like it is at times. Having that support of the people that you love the most in your life is really going to help you build a strong business. So I'm going to leave it at that. My interpretation of Shalene does no justice to what she said, so I encourage you, it's only 30 minutes, to listen to the video, and I'll post a link to it in the comment section under where I had posted about the call today. So anyway, I am going to turn it over to Britney, and she's just going to give you guys a little bit of background. If you don't know a little bit, Britney's been a coach for quite a while, but she just this last year really connected again with why she's doing this and why she wants to be able to earn more money doing this. So she's going to kind of just tell you a little bit about how that connection took place and the results. So Britney, I'm turning it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Kari and Callie, for having me on this call. I don't have notes like they did, but so I might be all over the place. Hopefully I'll keep this short and sweet. But for those of you who don't know my story, I was pretty unhealthy back in my day, and Kari approached me with Turbo Fire and Shakeology, and I finished that, and I lost quite a bit of weight. I almost lost 40 pounds. So I signed up for the discount. And at that time, I wasn't married. I wasn't even thinking about having children. but I was struggling with some autoimmune issues, and so it kind of really hit home with me when I was feeling really good about my fitness and my nutrition was getting back on track. I wasn't drinking. So that's where I started. And when I started, this is funny, I just have to share with you. Before we even went live, I was counting how much money I made when I first started as a coach, because that was my goal the first year is I'm just going to do this as a discount and hopefully get my Shakeology covered. That was my goal. And the first year I was a coach, my biggest check was $74.89. And the total for that year was $303. So, and that was good for me. I was working, it was covering some of my Shakeology, and I was fine with that. And then a few years later, I got married, and I was working as a full-time insurance agent, and I hated my job. I like to call it a life-sucking vortex, because there was just so much negative energy from everybody in the office, and it was just feeding off of each other. And I found myself going on a downhill slide back to eating crap, drinking more, being stressed out, and I was bringing it home. And finally one day, my husband said, "You need to quit." Because I think I came home and he asked me how my day was, and I said, well, I kind of wanted to tell him my brakes went out of my car, and I wanted to just drive it through the building. That's how bad it was. And from there I went and I took a job at the school as a secretary, because we were visiting and we knew we wanted to have kids down the road. And so I took a job at the school because I knew that I would have summers off, weekends off to be with my kids when I did have them and when we were ready. So, and it was the perfect job for what we needed at that time. However, when I became pregnant with our daughter Avery, she was born in October, and I took till January off of school for maternity leave. I went back to January into work, and I was stressed out. I was driving 14 miles. We lived out on a ranch, so I was driving into town with an infant in a car seat in the winter so that I could drop her off at daycare and be at daycare all day. And then I had to take my breast pump and pump in the janitorial room. So obviously it was not the perfect situation, and I just made a decision that something needed to change. And so I was visiting with my husband, and he says, at the end of the school year, finish it out and we'll figure it out. We'll just figure it out, because this isn't worth it. At the time when I quit my job, I was nervous, and then I sat back and I was visiting with Tim, and I said, I have this Beachbody business that I had signed up for just to get a discount, but it's there, and now I know why it's there. And of course, like most of our spouses, they're kind of hesitant about what it is that we do. And he's like, if you believe in it, which I know you do, you will succeed. And so I had full support from him. And so that was it. I quit my job, and I totally switched my mindset, because I was there in the dark place, and then I was there in an even darker place when I had to load up Avery in the winter, drive her into town, put her in daycare, and I had no paycheck at the end of the month. I had no paycheck. By the time I paid for fuel, daycare, and health insurance, I was actually going in the hole. So, since we're talking about mindset, I totally had to refocus, regroup onto why it was I signed up when I did as a coach. I think I signed up at the end of 2010. So, anyways, switching your mindset and having a whole new focus is amazing what it can do for not only this business, but for every aspect in your life. I didn't start listening to National Wake Up Calls until this year. That's awful. I went to my first Super Saturday just a few months ago, and I, back to my no matter what's, when I decided to quit my job and I wanted to make this a primary focus so that I could not go back to work and stay home with my daughter and help my husband, because he was working so hard that I wanted to do, he was helping me make it happen to stay at home and really push this business. So I wanted to not make a full income out of this, but I wanted to make enough where we could start saving money so that we could have family vacations in the future. So this year, my biggest check for the week was $419, and my total so far is almost $4,600, which isn't a lot, but it's a lot for how much I'm doing. And I can honestly say that through all the ups and downs, you have to enjoy the whole journey. The joy is in the whole entire journey. Those ups and downs, I went emerald, and I was so excited, and then I didn't do anything about it, and I lost it, and then I gained it back, and then I lost it, and I gained it back. But now, to where I'm at now, I understand that that was part of the learning process. That was all part of it. And now looking back in the past, I wouldn't change any of that, because I have learned a lot as a person. And so there's going to be struggles, there's going to be down times where you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels and nothing is happening. But you have to keep being consistent, you have to keep putting in the time. I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning so that I can do my power hour before I go to cross-country practice, and I leave for cross-country practice at 5:30. So my power hour, and that of course isn't my workout, but my power hour, which is kind of what Callie had talked about, your 5 no matter what. So every morning I follow up. That's the biggest thing that I have found in this business and me succeeding, is following up. If you're not following up, you have no idea. And I had to have this come to Jesus meeting with Tanya Lewis actually over the phone, and she was like, I follow up until they tell me to get out of my face. So you just have to switch your mindset. And a lot of times you might be like, I have people that are on my team now, and I have people that are customers now that I never thought in a million years would join me, but I never asked them. And you can't be the judge of somebody else's mindset. You don't know if they're going to tell you no. You don't know if they're going to tell you not right now. You don't know if they're going to say, hey, I need help, but I was scared to ask. I didn't know how to ask. And a lot of times that'll be the case. People are scared. They don't know how to approach you and ask them for help. So my 5 no matter what, I follow up with people. I invite and I post in my challenge groups. What else do I do? Personal development. I always read my personal development in the morning. And I catch up on a lot of podcasts. Like I listen to Shalene a lot. I listen to the National Wake Up Call, and I'll listen to them 2 or 3 times for the week. And I will take notes, and I get find something new in each National Wake Up Call every time I listen to it. So you just have to be very consistent and find the time to do it if you want to do it. So do you have any more questions that I should touch base on?
No, I think that's great, Brittany. I think I would like for other people, Kelly's given us our assignments, but I'd like other people to come up with a couple questions to ask Brittany about what she did, what made that switch, and what, like she's giving her 5 no matter what's, but something that she's doing a lot differently now than she did before. Just think of a question to ask for the team party. I think that we could get some really good conversation developed on this topic. I know that not everybody is going to want to make this to be able to put the time and effort into making this a $50,000 a year job, but like Callie was saying at the beginning of the call, I think there's things to take away for anybody, even people that are more of a hobby coach. But you can learn from the people that are really trying to make a little bit more income doing this business. So really spend the next couple days thinking, and let's have a great chat about it on Wednesday night at 8. Hopefully we can get a big group of people, and even if you have questions that aren't related to this topic, it would be great to see everybody's smiling faces, and hopefully we won't have internet connection issues, but I'd love to see all you guys there. If you guys have anything else to add, otherwise I think that's it for the call. Also feel free, if you're not going to be able to tune into the party, ask on the threads when we post these videos. We'd be happy to answer anything anytime. So have a great couple days, and listen to the recording a couple times, listen to Shalene's, and let's have a fun party on Wednesday. That's all I got, Callie.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for sticking in with us with the internet issues, but hopefully you were able to hear the big main points. So, bye, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Brittany.